Most people think using a plastic bottle as a plant pot is always safe, but there is one small mistake that can slowly kill your plants. It happens when people reuse bottles without thinking about drainage. They plant seeds or small plants inside a closed bottle or forget to create proper water outlets at the bottom. At first, everything looks fine, but inside the soil, water starts to collect in a hidden way. When excess water has no way to escape, the roots begin to stay wet for too long. This blocks oxygen from reaching them and slowly causes root rot. The plant starts to look weak, leaves turn yellow, and growth stops without any clear reason. Many beginners assume the plant needs more fertilizer or sunlight, but the real problem is trapped water inside the bottle. The simple truth is this: a bottle can be a powerful gardening tool, but only if it is used correctly. A few small drainage holes at the bottom can completely change the result. They allow extra water to escape and keep the soil balanced. One small mistake kills plants, but one simple fix can turn a plastic bottle into a healthy growing space. Bottle planters often fail quickly because people treat them like normal pots without understanding how plants actually grow. A plastic bottle may look like a simple and cheap solution, but it changes the natural balance of soil, air, and water if it is not prepared correctly. Most beginners assume any container will work, but plants need proper airflow and drainage to survive. The biggest reason bottle planters fail is poor drainage and heat control. When a bottle is closed or has very small holes, water gets trapped inside the soil. This leads to soggy roots and slow decay. On top of that, plastic bottles can heat up quickly in sunlight, especially in hot weather, which stresses the roots even more. Instead of helping the plant grow, the container slowly creates an unhealthy environment. However, bottle planters do not fail because the idea is bad. They fail because of small mistakes in setup. If you cut the bottle properly, add enough drainage holes, and place it in the right spot with balanced light, it can actually work very well. The difference between failure and success is not the bottle itself, but how carefully it is used. Most beginners start gardening with excitement, but they often miss one hidden problem that slowly affects every plant they grow. They focus on seeds, soil, and watering, but ignore what happens inside the container itself. Whether it is a plastic bottle, a pot, or any reused material, the real issue is not visible on the surface. It develops quietly below the soil level. The hidden problem is poor balance between water and air inside the soil. When containers do not have proper drainage or airflow, water collects at the bottom and pushes oxygen away from the roots. At the same time, the topsoil may look dry, so beginners keep adding more water. This cycle creates stress for the plant, even when everything seems normal from the outside. Over time, roots weaken and growth slows down. The solution is simple but often ignored. Every container needs space for excess water to escape and enough air to reach the roots. A few drainage holes, proper soil mix, and controlled watering can completely change the result. Once beginners understand this hidden problem, their plants stop struggling and start growing with stability and strength. Poor drainage is one of the most dangerous problems for plant roots, and most beginners do not notice it until it is too late. When water cannot escape from the soil, it starts to collect at the bottom of the container. At first, the plant still looks normal, but below the surface, the roots are already struggling to survive in an unhealthy environment. Roots need both water and oxygen to function properly. When soil stays too wet for too long, oxygen levels drop and the roots begin to suffocate. This weakens their ability to absorb nutrients, even if the soil is rich. Over time, the roots become soft, dark, and damaged, a condition known as root rot. Once this happens, the plant can no longer grow properly and slowly starts to die. The good news is that this problem is easy to fix if you understand it early. Simple drainage holes at the bottom of a bottle or pot allow excess water to escape and keep the soil balanced. When water flows properly and air reaches the roots, plants become stronger, greener, and healthier. Good drainage is not a small detail, it is the foundation of plant survival. Most bottle plants fail not because the idea is wrong, but because of a small mistake in setup. When people reuse plastic bottles without modifying them properly, water gets trapped inside the soil. That trapped moisture slowly damages the roots and stops healthy growth. The simple fix is not complicated, but it makes the difference between a dying plant and a thriving one. Start by creating proper drainage. Make a few small holes at the bottom of the bottle so extra water can escape freely. This prevents water from collecting at the roots and keeps the soil balanced. Next, avoid using very dense soil inside the bottle. A light airy mix allows both water and oxygen to move easily. If the roots can breathe, they stay strong and active. Finally, control how you water the plant. Instead of pouring large amounts at once, give small, steady watering so the soil does not get flooded. Place the bottle in a spot with balanced sunlight, not extreme heat. With these simple adjustments, a basic plastic bottle can turn into a healthy growing space where plants don't just survive, they actually grow better and stronger. Watering bottle plants the right way is not just about how much water you give, but how you deliver it to the roots. Many beginners either overwater or pour water too quickly, thinking more water means faster growth. In reality, the wrong watering method is one of the main reasons bottle plants weaken or die. A plastic bottle setup needs a controlled and balanced approach. The correct method starts with slow and steady watering. Instead of dumping water at once, you should allow it to soak gradually into the soil. If you are using a bottle with holes at the bottom or sides, let it release water drop by drop so the roots can absorb it properly. Always check the soil before watering. If it still feels moist, wait instead of adding more. This prevents waterlogging and keeps oxygen flowing around the roots. Another important step is timing and placement. Water early in the morning or in the evening when evaporation is low so the plant can absorb more moisture. Avoid watering under harsh sunlight because it can stress the roots inside the bottle. When you combine slow watering, proper checking, and correct timing, a simple plastic bottle setup becomes a stable and healthy growing system instead of a risky one. A weak bottle plant is not a lost plant. It is usually just a plant stuck in the wrong conditions. Most of the time, the problem is not the seed or the bottle itself, but how water, soil, and light are balanced inside it. When a plant looks dull, droopy, or stops growing, it is a clear sign that something in its environment needs to be fixed, not replaced. The first step to bring it back to health is correcting the root environment. Check the bottle for drainage problems and make sure excess water can escape freely. If the soil feels too wet or compact, gently loosen it or replace part of it with a lighter mix so air can reach the roots. Then adjust watering habits by giving small, controlled amounts instead of flooding the container. Once the roots get oxygen again, the plant slowly starts to recover from stress. Next comes recovery support through light and consistency. Place the bottle plant in a spot where it gets balanced sunlight, not extreme heat or complete shade. Avoid moving it too often because plants need time to stabilize after stress. Within a few days, new green growth usually starts to appear if the conditions are corrected. A weak bottle plant can become healthy again when you fix the basics and let nature do the rest. Most plants don't die suddenly. They slowly decline while giving small warning signs that are often ignored. Yellow leaves, drooping stems, slow growth, or constantly wet soil are early signals that something is wrong. In bottle planters especially, these signs appear faster because the container environment changes water, air, and heat balance more than traditional pots. If you notice these signs, the first step is to act immediately before the damage becomes permanent. Check the soil for excess moisture and improve drainage so water is not trapped around the roots. If the soil is too compact, gently loosen it or replace part of it with a lighter mix so oxygen can reach deeper layers. Adjust watering habits by reducing frequency and giving water only when the soil actually needs it. These small corrections can stop root damage from getting worse. The final step is giving the plant a stable recovery environment. Move it to a balanced light area where it is not exposed to extreme heat or constant shade. Avoid overhandling it. Because stressed plants need time to rebuild strength. Within a short time, healthy green growth can return if the root system is saved in time. Most plants can recover, but only if action is taken before it is too late.